Is up, guys, and welcome to another edition of Market Marauders. Be the market one trade at a time. Free to Market Marauders investment channel helps you to find the best deals in the market. If that's something you're interested in, make sure you smash the subscribe button down below, like, comment, and share. Now, today has been just a bloody day in the market. Just red everywhere. So many red signals everywhere. It's just been crazy how red the market was today. So still going to go over the earnings plays for today. We had two. If you're interested in the earning plays for this week, they will be in the community tab. So go check out the community tab for the plays for this week. But as you can tell on here, it is all red everywhere. So let's start off with the earnings. The first earnings that was today was ticker sign DOCU for DocuSign. If you're not familiar with what DocuSign is, it's basically a company where you can sign documents and sort of like an integrated form of signing documents. So I know a lot of companies use it, and they had their earnings today. So let's jump into some of their background. So their moving average 10 is $237.28. The moving average 50 is $246.14. And the moving average 100 is $229.89. So they ended the day today at $242.01. And then they went down $21.71 to end at $220.30. So they were definitely a victim of the market movement today, and definitely were clapped by the major sell-off in the market today. So let's jump into their earnings to see how they performed. So on their earnings, we can see that their total revenue was $342.2 million, an increase of 45% year over year. Subscription revenue was $323.6 million, an increase of 47% year over year. Professional services and other revenue was $18.6 million, an increase of 25% year over year. So not any dramatic increases as far as revenue is concerned, especially considering how crazy Zoom's earnings was. Definitely not anywhere in the ballpark near that one. And billings were $405.7 million, an increase of 61%. GAAP gross margin was 74% in both comparative periods. Non-GAAP gross margin was 78% in both comparative periods. GAAP net loss per basic and diluted share was 0.35 on 185 million shares outstanding, compared to 0.39 on 175 million shares outstanding in the same period. The non-GAAP net income per diluted share was 0.17 on 203 million shares outstanding, compared to 0.01 on 189 million shares outstanding in the same period last year. Net cash provided by the operating activities was 11.81, compared to 26.4 million in the same period. So that's 118.1 million. Yeah, I said that completely wrong. Free cash flow was 99.8 million, compared to 11.9 million in the same period last year. And cash and cash equivalents, restricted cash, and investments are 740.6 million at the end of the quarter. So, okay earnings as far as that's concerned. I know a lot of people were expecting this to be, an amazing earnings based on the feel from Zoom, because Zoom kind of, set the standard for the week with their earnings, but, didn't have that big of a boom, but still was pretty good overall. So jumping to the next one, we got Campbell Soup had their earnings today. So let's see if we could find them. Ticker sign CPB. So their moving average 10 is $48.63. Their moving average 50 is $51.29. The moving average 100 is $52.11. They ended the day today at $48.53. After hours, they went up 22 cents to end it at $48.75. So not too bad of a metric as far as that's concerned, but it looks like they were also a victim of the market sell-off today. Looks like they're beginning a dead cat bounce and are bearish, denoted by the moving average 10 line being below the moving average 50 and the moving average 100 line. So bearish as far as that's concerned. But let's jump into their earnings and see how they performed. So going into their earnings, fourth quarter net sales increased 18%. Organic net sales increased 12%, reflecting continued increased demand for our products. Fourth quarter earnings per share, or EPS, for continuing operations of 0.28 increased from a loss of 0.02. Adjusted EPS of 0.63 increased 50%. And then full year net sales and organic net sales increased 7%, and EPS from continuing operations 1.95 increased 24%. Adjusted EPS of $2.95 increased 28%. So not any dramatic earnings as far as earnings are concerned, but still okay. Not too much to be expected from a company that makes soup, but still pretty good as far as earnings is concerned, and still showing that they have a demand for their product. So they actually gained a little bit after hours, which most companies cannot say for today. So a little hope for them on the horizon. But let's jump into the rest of these. So we had Zoom, which was definitely another victim of being clapped today. Their moving average 10 is 380.23. Moving average 50 is 396.26. The moving average 100 is 346.46. They ended the day at 381.32, and then after hours they went down $17.57. So pretty major move downward for the company. Earlier this week on Monday, they definitely shot up. They went from about 290, looks on here, 290.33, shot all the way up to 478. So, pretty good metric as far as that's concerned. But overall, I think people took profits. And, with the rest of the market, I think everybody just continued to take profits for today. And it seems that they are on a bearish trend, denoted by this moving average 10 line crossing the moving average 50 line. So bearish pattern beginning to develop. They were bullish after their earnings, especially since their earnings was so good. But definitely a lot of profit taking going on here. So going to another one, we got ticker sign HRB, and that is for H&R Block. Their earnings was on Tuesday. They weren't really affected too much by this sell-off. So their moving average 10 is $15.03. Moving average 50 is $14.76. And moving average 100 is $14.68. So it looks like they ended at $15.04. And after hours, they went down 3 cents to end at $15.01. So they're still bullish, denoted by the moving average 10 line being above the moving average 50 and the moving average 100 line. So pretty good metrics as far as that's concerned. So definitely going to keep my eye out on them, since they were not as affected by the major sell-off today. Going into Tesla just got completely obliterated today. So if you haven't been following Tesla in the news, on this Monday is when their split had occurred. So the stock rallied a little bit after their split. So they had a 5-to-1 split. If you're new to Tesla, you haven't been following them. So for every 1 share that investors had, they got 5 shares. And then it seemed like the stock was going to rally, pretty well. It continued to rally for probably a day. and then today just got obliterated. So obliterated in the sense of like they lost a lot of money. But Tesla in general is a very volatile stock. So, any move up is very dramatic, and any move down is always dramatic, in my personal opinion. They went down today after they had went up after their earnings or after their split. But there's still some things going on the positive note for Tesla. Elon Musk is currently in Germany talking to the German government about his facility. So read that in the news today. So it seems like talks are going pretty well about the Gigafactory Berlin. So a lot of positive news in that direction. And also still, not next week, but the week after, on the 15th, will be Battery Day. So if you're not familiar with what Battery Day is, Tesla's announcing their 1,000,000-mile battery, which will basically, set the standard for all EV cars for the future. It's supposed to extend the life of the battery so that you can get more charge out of a battery and not have to exchange it. And also, it is a tour of their Fremont factory. So their headquarters in California. There will be a tour at that facility. So pretty major event for the company. And definitely a lot of people will be having their eyes on this event. There's a lot of, hype around it. But, it's for a good reason because Tesla kind of sets the industry standard as far as the EV world is concerned. Now, they're not the only company that makes EV cars. There's other companies like NIO, which is a Chinese-based company that makes electric vehicles. There's also Tortoise Acquisition, which will be Helion when the merger is completed. And they make electric Class 8 cars. And there's also Nikola. So Nikola Motors, which makes Class 8 trucks. And they will be announcing, releasing their Badger pickup truck, which is going to be an electric truck during Nikola World, which is December 3rd through, I think, 5th. So jumping into Apple. Apple had a sell-off as well, but they also had a split. So Apple had a 4-to-1 split and not a 5-to-1 split, but their split date was the same date as Tesla. So on this Monday, the 31st, everyone who had 1 share previously then had 4 shares, and it seemed like they rallied as well, but a lot of people started to sell off. So after they sold off, which seems to be now, there's still some things that investors are waiting on, which to me are the announcement of the 5G iPhone and a date for the actual debut of it. I think it's going to be before 2021, so before January, in my opinion. I think they're going to announce it, but there hasn't been a date yet, nor specs. I think some specs were leaked, but I'm waiting for Apple to have an official release of the specs that are coming out. So still some things to look forward to for Apple in the future. But today, they were a victim of the massive sell-off as well. Going into Walmart, Walmart is still bullish. Walmart is still making a lot of moves. In the news on Walmart, they had recently announced last week that they were partnering with Microsoft to try to acquire TikTok. If you're not familiar with what TikTok is, it is a social media platform where you can share videos with your friends. And it was controversial for the fact that President Trump said that he was going to try to ban it because it was not being regulated by the U.S. and the data from people, cell phones, was being used by China. So there was a possible ban on it, but, one of the companies that came out originally was Microsoft, said they were going to try to purchase the U.S. side of it. Then a company named Oracle decided that they were going to try to purchase it. And then Walmart announced last week that they were partnering with Microsoft to try to acquire it. Now, Walmart is not a social media company. by any means, but I think they're trying to use it to increase their ad rate, where people can come into the store because they see these items to purchase on their app. So I think a pretty smart move from Walmart in trying to acquire that for marketing purposes. And I think Oracle is currently out of the runnings for trying to acquire it, if I read that story correctly. So it's just a matter of time, in my opinion, on the deal for Walmart and Microsoft. So their moving average 10 is $144.27. Their moving average 50 is $144.24. Moving average 100 is $139.31. They ended the day at $144.54. And after hours, they went down $2.97 to end at $141.57. So, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button if you like the video. If it's helping you, definitely helps out the algorithm. We want to get more people in here in the chat so they can get this information and figure out what is going on in the market. So overall, I would say don't panic. Don't panic sell and be like, oh, I'm gonna sell everything because the market's going down. The market always has a correction. So you can only be in a bubble so long before that bubble bursts. Now, it's not a bubble burst in the sense of like back in March where the market completely crashed. There's still some positive things going on in the market. So I would say, if you saw today was red, I would not panic sell everything. I would definitely wait to see, what's going on the horizon as far as, market volume is concerned. Now, going into Microsoft, they were back with the TikTok news as well. They also have their new console coming out, I think in November, pre-order start. I'm not sure. I think that is the date though. But they were also a victim today of the market sell-off. They are on a bearish downtrend denoted by this moving average 10 line crossing the moving average 50 and the moving average 100 line. So starting to become very bearish. So I would just say, look at this, the near-term future. Bearish to me is not always a bad thing. It just means that the stock is on sale. So going into their moving average 10 is $200.18. $218.17. Moving average 50 is $225.62. Moving average 100 is $224.74. And they ended the day today at $217.30. Looks like after hours they went down $3.32 to end it at $213.98. So definitely keep my eye out on Microsoft, especially considering their console release as well as their possible acquisition of TikTok. Now, VBIV is one of those companies that I think has the potential to go up, especially considering the U.S. government released that by November we should have a vaccine, which is always a good thing. I think it'll put, the economy at ease, in my opinion, once there's a vaccine out there that's working. But this definitely is a penny stock. So if you're looking for a penny stock that's, in the vaccine niche, this is definitely one to keep your eyes on for. And, what the CDC announced, the vaccine coming in possible November, this is one of the companies that could benefit from that. So I would say definitely keep your eyes out on this one for the near-term future. DGLY was one of the penny stocks that I was looking at as well, but it looks like they were a victim of the sell-off too today. If you're not familiar with what DGLY is, it's Digital Ally. They make body cams for police officers, but they also make temperature detectors for sporting events or mass areas. So they make this thing called Thermo View, where it basically you go up to it and you scan your arm and it'll tell you the temperature. If you have a high temp, it'll give an alarm, but it's just basically a way to track people's temperature in large scale areas so that it can help regulate the spread of the pandemic. Another one to look at is AIM, and this is for AIM Immunotech Incorporated. They have definitely been a victim of the sell-off as well, been going down and are bearish. So they have dropped below their moving average 50 and moving average 100 line. So the moving average 10 line we can see has just dipped down, and they're on this bearish pattern. So that seems to be the trend with all stocks this week. Macy's, on the other hand, they had their earnings pretty recently, and they are still bullish. So denoted by the moving average 10 line being above the moving average 50 and the moving average 100. So they ended the day at $7.50. They went down 11 cents after hours to end at the $7.50. And their moving average 10 is $7.71. Moving average 50 is $7.18. And the moving average 100 is $6.91. So pretty good metric as far as that's concerned. Surprised to see them bullish. I think the retail industry in general is continuing to grow. One stock to keep your eye out on is Carnival Cruise. Carnival Cruise is starting to open back up. So, that was one of the ones that was definitely hit pretty harshly. So keep your eyes out on that one. I'll pull it up here after I get done. That was the last one. So I'll pull it up here right now. Ticker sign is CCL. They said they are going to announce trips back to Italy or from Italy, going around Italy. I think it's in November. They're going to start with limited capacity. But as far as them, having ships sailing again, it's always going to be a positive note. So looking for some updates on that and to see, their procedures for how they're going to limit the spread of the pandemic. Masks will probably definitely be required at, all the time on the ship. But I definitely want to see their procedures because if it goes well, then you could possibly see, them opening back up in the U.S. So that would be nice to get some cruises back. I know people are waiting for that industry to come back so that they can take vacations on those cruise lines. So their moving average 10 is $17.66. Moving average 50 is $16.89. And moving average 100 is $16.50. So they ended the day today at $17.27. They went down 31 cents to end at that price. So not too bad as a metric as far as that is concerned. I think they'll probably go sideways here from that price because they have a resistance right here at $18.74. So I think, once it continues to approach that, they're definitely going to have to test that level once, the stock starts to rally again. But I think from here, they'll continue to go sideways until more news comes out about the cruise lines opening back up. I think this spike was definitely fueled by the news that they were opening back up, but more news, in my opinion, I think will help this to go back up. So make sure you drop a comment down below if this video helps you. And I'm going to go into my last one for today. McDonald's announced today that they have a partnership with Travis Scott. If you don't know who Travis Scott is, he is a rapper. So they announced that they have a partnership today with Travis Scott to try to come up with a meal. I think it said it was $6. So, look forward to that. I would say that if the market wasn't performing the way it did today as a whole, that McDonald's would be up and a lot higher than it is today because when Kanye announced that he was partnering with The Gap, the stock shot up like crazy. So I think if it wasn't a sell-off like it was today, then I think this stock would have been shooting up. But because the market as a whole sold off, I think it definitely negated a lot of the momentum that could have potentially happened from that announcement. So long term, I think that momentum will come back, but I think investors were kind of turned off today by the massive sell-off. So make sure that thumbs up button. Tell me what stocks you guys are looking at for the week. Make sure you check out the community tab. I try to post a lot of updates on there, especially things that are going on real time. So as soon as I heard about the McDonald's deal going on. I tried to post it on the community tab, so hopefully some people were able to, profit from that, or able to, learn the information a lot faster. So hopefully these videos are helping you all. Make sure that you add me on IG, ticker sign, at market_Marauders. Make sure you add the clothing company, which is Sus Clothing Company or Sus Clothing Brand on IG. These are all going to be in the description, by the way. And if you'd like to sign up for Webull, which is the platform that I'm using, and get 2 free stocks, I have a link down below where you can sign up and get yourself 2 free stocks. Also, if you'd like to sign up for Robinhood, I have a link for that down below as well. So make sure you sign up for that as well. And good luck to you all trading out there. I do have a podcast that I'm starting up. So make sure you stay tuned for that. It is on Spotify, Apple, and Anchor. So it's sponsored through Anchor, but it's on Spotify and it's on Apple. So it's going to be Market Marauders with me, your host, Reginald C. So make sure you go check out the podcast. I'll try to do some more updates as far as that's concerned. And I'm going to be starting a new series coming up here pretty soon, which I'm going to announce probably this weekend. So I hope everybody was able to lock in those profits. Don't panic. Don't panic when the market is red and sell. Just trust your judgment. And, the market always bounces back. So just bear that in mind. It always bounces back. Even when it hit down in March, where it went down in March, it bounced back. And it went to levels that were higher than it was before. So just make sure you don't panic and sell everything in your portfolio because, sometimes it's hard to get those gains back. So I'd say, use judgment, be cautious, and try to make sure you capitalize gains when necessary. But there's different forms of investing. There's day trading. So for day traders, it may have been a bad day. But for long-term investors, if you're sitting on the sidelines waiting for some stuff to go down in price, then today was a good day for you because you were able to get some good stocks for a cheap price. So if you don't learn how to trade dividends or you learn how to get dividends and build a dividend portfolio, I have a video for that on my channel. It's just a small course. It's free. So just make sure you check that out in the playlist. It'll teach you how to build a dividend portfolio and essentially get paid every week. So make sure you check that out in the playlist. Good luck to you all trading out there, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.